What's going on? In this video, we're in the car. We're going to pick up my dog from dog training back here. Just waiting a few minutes, had a few extra minutes, so figured I'd just come on here, shoot this quick little video, and talk about the lessons that I learned last night in our ads personally. And this kind of whole channel is built not to sell you a course. I'm not here to, be one of these gurus. Not Iman Gadzi or anything like that. I'm not here to sell you something. I'm purely just here to drop some value, tell you what works, what doesn't, and just how we're scaling into things. If you don't know me, I'm Zach Bordeaux. We did $10 million generated last year. We spent around $1 million a month in ads, a few different metrics. Just throw out there. I got to throw it out there because otherwise these videos will just get people to click off and no one will actually watch them. So, yeah, we spent $1 million a month in ads, about a 25 million follower portfolio. And yeah, we're scaling things right now. We basically help businesses scale. We do lead gen and a variety of different things. We're not just like a lead gen agency. We help them throughout the whole process, lead gen, actually generating the leads, setting the leads, closing the leads, everything across the whole process. And obviously helping them deliver on the service in certain situations as well. Not always, but in certain situations. We worked with hundreds of different industries, literally, not just making that number up. Genuinely over 100, hundreds of clients. Obviously, if we worked with hundreds of different industries, you could infer that. But yeah, today I want to talk about the number one lesson that I've learned about messaging and just about how to basically scale into offers. Like I said, here to pick up my dog right now, just chilling in the parking lot. Just figured I'd record this quick little video. Dog training place. It's kind of like a mini lesson I'll throw in there. Training your ads is kind of like training a dog, right? You can train it up on a bunch of different things. You can train it up on the messaging. You can train it up on, a variety of different things. You can train it up on a headline. You can train it up by setting different audiences, setting different targeting settings, by just having better creatives. There's numerous ways to target anything like this and any sort of ads, right? But it's very much so like training a dog. Very, very similar, right? Let's see if the lighting's any better. Boom. Lighting isn't really that much better. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, so last night we were basically looking at our funnels and everything like that, just checking in to see how everything converts as we do every 3 days. And we were just looking at all of our numbers. Obviously, we financially modeled it. So if you're not like doing the math on your data and knowing your KPIs and that kind of thing, I think I might make a video pretty soon about all the different KPIs we track in our call funnels. But to be clear, what we were working on over the past few days is our opt-in rate has been suffering a ton. We've been getting, some pretty good leads. We changed up some targeting in the ads themselves. So messaging partially came from that we were targeting Charlotte business owners in that one video, and we kind of changed it up to target something more specific than just Charlotte business owners, right? So one of the big things with messaging that we did is we obviously had, the city behind us. We had different things that presented us to be able to actually get us more leads in the door. And then in addition to that, we were able to basically change up the creatives a little bit to be more specific to the audience. So we were able to message right to them. Right, so that's the first thing that we did that was big difference. But we still noticed like, hey, the opt-in rate's kind of shit in the bed right now. So we kind of changed up a few different things. And biggest thing was just talking more to the prospects into their pain points and their desires, right? Messaging is super important when it comes to this whole process of funnels, because a lot of people will try to talk super broad, right? They'll go, okay, here's how to get 15 new appointments a week, or something like that, right? And I'll actually pull up like the original opt-in page, like what the text was what the text was on it. The original one said, attention. Oh wait, which one is it? Yeah, the original one said, attention Charlotte business owners. Charlotte business owners are using this AI system to get an extra 15 bookings per month. Discover the simple AI system that's automating lead gen and driving revenue growth faster than ever for free, right? And that was the first one that we had. So a few different problems in there. One, it was very broad. We're just targeting Charlotte business owners versus something more specific, which I won't tell you a specific niche because we're still validating it. But we can tell that this broad variety of different niches inside of the Charlotte market wasn't something that actually worked as well, right? So to be clear, we changed that up a little bit. For one thing, the original thing said like warning Charlotte business owners. We changed that up. It wasn't super compliant. Also, the 15 bookings a month is just kind of a compliance risk, and that was something that we identified. we don't want to have any sort of risk when it comes to compliance of getting our ad accounts taken down or anything like that. I did a whole video on advertising compliance that you can go watch on my channel. Just search in compliance on my channel and you'll see it. Or just like, I think it was talking to something about jail. If you search jail, it should come up as well, about how to not end up in jail. But yeah. And then the CTA discovered the simple AI system that's automating lead gen and driving revenue growth faster than ever for free. The for free was really throwing a lot of people off because we had people who would opt in, we'd dial them up, and they'd be like, oh, this system's free, right? How do I get the free system? Versus them seeing the VSL for free, right? So they didn't do they didn't have the knowledge to understand what we're actually talking about when we said free, right? Another thing is it's super, super repetitive. It says AI a bunch of times. It says AI system. And this is another thing that you'll learn if you ever take like an SAT or an ACT, or probably won't take them in the future if you're watching this, but if you ever did take those when you were in high school as a way to do test prep for college, right? To be clear, I took those. I got very, very good scores on them because I just locked in, focus on those super, super hard, right? And so what I did that was different, or what I learned from that, sorry, I got really good at the English section because it was super logical. Nobody thinks that the English part is logical. They think that's the creative part, but there's only like a certain number of types of questions. So there's like 5 to 6 types of questions, right? And one of those questions, or one of those types, those groups of questions, is questions asking about like redundancies, right? And so redundancies in copy are things like using AI system or CLT business owners like multiple times. You only really want to use these things like once throughout the entire thing, right? So what we did instead when we changed this up was, instead of saying what I just read a minute ago, we changed it up to say, struggling to keep up with your competition, this AI books jobs for you. That's the first line up at the top, right? And so to be clear, that is able to help us a lot more because we're able to call out their pain points versus just calling out like, hey, you're a Charlotte business owner. So to be clear, that helps out a lot as well, right? And then we said Charlotte blank business owners. Obviously, we have a much more niche down thing, are using this AI to automate leads and lock in 15 plus new bookings every month without lifting a finger. And then take back control of your business with AI that handles lead gen, qualifies prospects, fills your calendar, and so much more, all while you focus on what you do best, right? So to be clear, this is much more specific than just something that's super broad, right? So we're talking a lot more to their pain points. We're talking directly to them versus talking broad of like, oh, get 15 new bookings a month. People don't care about that. Another great example of copy that I really like is like, if you go down and get the documents, I'll leave it in the description for all the other videos. I do these videos daily. But most of my videos, like 95% of them, are like lucid charts where I go through some sort of lucid chart or a document. And so if you go to zachbordeaux.com/gems, I'll leave the link in the description. You can get access to all those different lucid charts, all the value that I provide, and all the docs that are there. And you can get access to those, right? And to be clear, what you'll see on there is the copy is very, very specific to the type of person that I want to see that, right? Even on like the back end of it, I'm using like a brand voice. Like on the, after you opt into it, you'll see it. It says like, holy shit, you're serious, right? That's something that I would say that like most other people wouldn't. That kind of makes me stand out. People aren't used to that. People are used to, hey, you get 10 bookings a month or 10 booked calls a month, right? You know, those kind of offers just don't work super well, especially nowadays. Now they're super saturated, right? And so one way that you can do this for copy is generating like positioning statements and messaging. We always generate a few lines of messaging that are consistent throughout all the different things that we do. So messaging could be things like, I can't think of any examples off the top of my head, but certain sentences or phrases that are like 3 to 5 words, they don't have to necessarily be sentences, but phrases that are used throughout everything that you do so that you can keep your brand voice consistent, right? And I'm sure you've probably seen some of that from what I've done, from what other people have done. And if you just try to go generic and try to do this like, here's how to book 10 appointments a month, especially with like YouTube titles or anything like that. A lot of people try to do that. It just doesn't work as well as it used to because it's super, super like unoriginal. Versus if you have something that's super specific to you, you can kind of understand it a little bit better, right? So I think that's pretty much all that I had to talk about. Actually, 2 other quick things that I'll mention here. Don't make too many optimizations at once in your funnels. This is another thing that we learned. But there's a difference between optimizations and split tests, right? So an optimization is when you look at something like we looked at our old headline and we said, okay, this is clearly worse. This is clearly has gaps in it, Like, for example, if something's not compliant, I'll look at that and say, this clearly has a gap in it that is not solved, that I'm going to solve within optimization. Versus a split test is like, okay, let's test the theory that this is better or worse. Versus this one, I know for a fact that it's better because I have a specific reason as to why it's better. Versus split test, like, these two things are kind of on the same level. I don't think that there's one or the other that will do better. I don't have a logical reason to believe that. And so I'm just going to go ahead and change that thing, right? So that is kind of the difference between optimizations and split tests. And then also another kind of quick story that I'll bring up is I talked to a client the other day that was doing a DM funnel for roofers. And this is like a huge red flag because like roofers do not use Instagram DMs like you would think. They might use Instagram, right? But they're not out here just like in the Instagram DMs. Maybe they use Facebook Messenger. I don't want to communicate through there. I don't want my setters communicating through there. So to be clear, I don't personally use Facebook Messenger, but they were running specifically an Instagram DM funnel. They had Instagram organic presence of like 1,000 followers. It was not directed at roofers at all. It was very much so just like a broccoli-haired boys that post videos on Instagram, post like personal brand that are trying to like build their personal brand. It's very like, you know, aesthetic profile or trying to be aesthetic at least. And very much so a personalized profile versus like a business profile. And not super professional either. And so these roofers are not going to get a good impression by running a DM funnel. It's like, why would you target them on somewhere where they're not? So you have to, A, be able to talk to your prospects. These are the two lessons that I'll break down today. A, talk to your prospects, and then B, talk on the right channel that they are on. And go to where they are. Don't make them come to you. Take the friction out. You go where they are and find them where they want to be found. So that is kind of like this basic video, this basic concept that I'll be breaking down in this video. But yeah.
And then one thing, I don't know how well you can hear me, but after, like he said, we made those optimizations, the first lead that I spoke to today, he was making anywhere on the low end of 30K all the way up to 60K per month with his business. And the problem we had is we were not hitting the most qualified people. And since making those optimizations that Zach just talked about, the first lead we got, very qualified, and I'll let you know, or you'll know how it goes. But yeah, that just shows the power of what Zach went over in this video. Those little optimizations, how much of a difference it can make, who you speak to, who it attracts. So yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much all that I had for this video. If you have anything else, any other questions or anything like that, just text me. I'll leave my number down in the description as I always do. But just shoot me a text, 704-998-8564. That's my personal cell. That will go to my phone. But yeah, just shoot me a text. Love to connect with you. Don't send me some dumbass message like hey or hi or what's up, because I'm just going to respond. I'm probably just not going to respond. I might respond with who this. Please just send me like a little bit about yourself. Send me your IG. Send me a question. Send me something that's valuable. And then also send me the name of this video or like where you came from, just so I can kind of know, you know, what videos they're doing well, which ones aren't. And that's all I ask from you. But I love to connect with you. If not, you can get the docs for all the videos that I do. Go watch this video as well. It will be valuable as well. Peace.